What it do, bugaboo? All right, so let's get this party started.
Hello, everybody.
Hey guys, James here once again with the sixth of many episodes of Miami Let's Cast, your video games podcast coming out of the Miami, Florida area. Representing this week, I'm putting up the episode late. Unfortunately, I had some corrupted files and I'm actually re-recording this podcast to get it up at least by Friday of this week. By next week, we should be good on the very next episode. So this episode just kind of gets some things out of the way here. Remember, guys, you guys could follow me on youtube.com, YouTube at Miami Let's Play. You can also check out the website miamiletsplay.com, where you can join in on the forums, comment, and also subscribe to the newsletter so you guys can stay up to date with the stuff that I put out. And of course, here on the podcast, YouTube, podcast, website, go do it, and the social medias, don't forget that. So on today's show, we're gonna basically dedicate it to fighting EVO 17. Just ended. Not gonna spoil who won, but it was some exciting things for fighting fans coming out of the tournament this year. So kind of just to jump off here, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the games that were part of this thing. So King of Fighters 14 was there, Blazblue Central Fiction, what is it, Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3, Gears, Exert, Rev 2, Tekken 7, two variations of Smash Bros, Melee and Wii U were there, as well as Street Fighter 5. Of course, there were some announcements that came out of this thing. The big dog here, of course, is Street Fighter 5 is the headliner. For a while now, Street Fighter 5 has been getting some bad rep, and justified, because I mean they came out pretty empty with the game when it launched. You know, the gameplay was always there, but it was very weak with the content. You know, now the content is there, and I think people are kind of taking in Street Fighter 5. It's definitely, I think, would benefit from a retail re-release. Even though they said they weren't going to do these super editions, I think it would be beneficial now that they have the completed game with the story, added characters, and so on and so forth. So that was part of EVO, but there were some news coming out. As y'all know, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is due out in September. So they announced some new characters. Some of you might be surprised. Others might not. You know, there were some leaked rosters prior to this. But for those who are excited to see Jeddah coming back, he's back in this game. People have been clamoring to get him back in the game. It's definitely a fan favorite. I saw the game. It looked good. He looks good. The gameplay of this game, I mean, you can't deny the fact the gameplay is phenomenal. I mean, for those who like, the Marvel vs. Capcom gameplay, you can just get more of it. And of course, the drawback, the things that has been coming out from the initial launch trailers, that this thing kind of looks a little bit, PS2-ish as far as the looks go. But the gameplay's there with it, which is what is important. And for those who are excited about that game, we got Jeddah, but they didn't stop there. They also announced a second character, and it's Gamora from the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's actually pretty cool, man. She has a kind of a combination of course, the physical fighting with some shooting in there. She has a couple guns that she goes crazy with, so it was pretty fun to see. I'm interested in playing the characters and seeing how the game actually plays once I get my hands on it. But as far as the videos goes, it looks good. The game plays well. Now, I'm interested to see or to hear what you guys say. Make sure you guys sound off or comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this game. If you guys are excited, if you guys have reserved it, if you guys are kind of just hanging back, waiting for reviews or what's going on. But definitely, it's been a long time coming for the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Hopefully, Capcom doesn't make the same mistake that they did with Street Fighter 5. And, kind of not have enough content in this thing. So it looks like they're learning from their mistakes for sure. But we'll see. Because Capcom is a little bit of of a loose cannon sometimes. So for sure, EVO 2017, I think a lot of people were nervous going into this thing. They didn't know how the event was going to go. But the fact of the matter is, man, it's been a good year for games. I mean, we had Tekken 7 this year. Injustice 2 came out this year. We have, as I just mentioned, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is coming out later this year. It's been a good year overall for Street Fighter V. We've had some really good updates for the Street Fighter V series. I've been playing recently, even though it launched, I think it launched late last year, is the remaster, the complete edition of the Ultra Street Fighter 4. I've been playing that. We have also had Street Fighter 2 on the Switch, and of course ARMS. There's some more announcements coming for 2018, so it's been a good year, and it looks like it's going to keep on rolling into 2018. And I'm kind of excited for one. I'm not big on the Marvel vs. Capcom series necessarily. I think it's a little bit too fast. It's that 3-on-3 play didn't really connect with me, and it's just every time I get my ass kicked on that thing. But when it comes to things like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, I really do some damage there, and I'm interested to see if that retail release comes out and they kind of do right by the fans for the Street Fighter 5 game. Capcom's got some catching up to do, but I think they'll get there. Smash was there. Smash is always a big hit with fighting game fans. It's actually I have a number here of the entrants, and Smash Brothers, Wii U, and Melee were the second and third most entrants in for the fighting game challenge. So it's definitely a big deal, which begs the question, right? Is Nintendo gonna announce the remake of Switch soon? Are we gonna see it in 2018? Are they just holding it back so they won't throw everything at us right away? But also interesting, they also have ARMS, right? So is it gonna make a splash? Will it be in EVO 2018? I've played the game a little bit, and I'm definitely liking the gameplay of it. Is interesting, but I don't know if it's gonna be a competitive thing. I mean, there's some people out there that are really good at this game already, and they're of course with every game, but the game, I think, is going to be something to keep an eye out on. Another big presence at EVO 2017 was Dragon Ball Z FightersZ. While it wasn't there as one of the competitive games, there was a lot of people playing this. Actually, they asked some of the pros what they thought of this game, and basically they said that ultimately it's a good game. It has a lot of potential. What have yet to see. I mean, the game is only 20% done at this point, and supposedly we're getting this thing early in 2018, so we'll see. They keep announcing new characters. I'm definitely stoked for it. I talked about it in the past show with Eric when he was on the show, and it's definitely cool to see that. They also had an announcement during the EVO 2017. They announced Trunks officially, because it was leaked previously, but also with that announcement they said that a beta is coming out soon. The signups begin on July 26th, so you guys can sign up for the beta, and Trunks is going to be playable in that beta. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for that. If I do find the link for it, I'll put it in the show notes for you guys and in the comments. As for now, I don't think there's anything official out there, but we know that it's coming soon. So I'm definitely stoked for that. And then they also announced Blazblue Cross Tag Battle, and that's coming also in 2018. Now, I'm a big fan of Blazblue. It's never been a crazy amount of players in these rosters, but they've always been like unique. They've been really fun to play. They each play differently. So, if you master one, you don't necessarily master another one. And that's really what I like about the game. It plays to my style, which is the side scrolling. It doesn't do really the 3D thing. It has the sprite look. which is the type of game that I like. And what they did is they basically combined BlazBlue, Persona 4 Arena, and Under Night in Birth. So they're mashing these 3 games together to kind of show off their best work. So if you played Persona 4 Arena, it's a bang up game. A BlazBlue bang up game. Under Night in Birth, I'm not really familiar with that title, but I know the characters. I saw the trailer, and I recognize the character, but I never played that game. So I mean, if they're putting in the work in, system works, I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. It's interesting to see Persona fighting the BlazBlue characters, so I'm definitely stoked for that. That's coming out in 2018. I will link the trailer so you guys can check that out in the show notes and in the comments. And then finally, I was looking a little bit I was looking at the NPDs for June, and some interesting things were done here. I don't know if it's because of EVO, but basically the top 2 in the US for sales in June is Tekken 7 at number 1, Injustice 2 at number 2. So you have your fighting games and in the top 2 spots, and then ARMS in 5th place. So that's 3 fighting games in the top 5. And just to kind of rattle off here, you had Grand Theft Auto 5 in 3rd place, Crash Bandicoot in 4th overall sales. These are US sales. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild still selling well. Mario Kart 8, Overwatch, 2K17, and so on and so forth. So those are your top 10 for the month of June. And I'm gonna go a little bit more into NPDs in the next episode. I wanted to kind of keep this just about the fighting games, but I'm interested to see what you guys think. Are you guys into the fighting game genre? Is there a particular reason why they're making a comeback this year? It seems like it's coming from out of nowhere. They're just all these fighting games are releasing, and they're all very, very, very good. I wonder what y'all's games out there, what your game of choice is. So let me know. And I kind of want to finish off the show here. This is going to be a short show. Like I said, I'm recording for the second time. So unfortunately, some of the content's lost there. But I basically gave you the gist of what the show was originally recorded as. And I had an interesting point to discuss now. And this was brought up because I recently just bought Injustice 2. There was a good sale. I saw it for $30. I picked it up. And I said, hey, what the heck? I really like the first one. Let's check this out. So I pop in the game, and right away I'm slammed with sign up with the mobile app. So I link the mobile app, and you get an extra skin for Bishop, I believe. And I'm like, all right. So then they take you in. Oh, you got to get online, and you got X amount of loot crates and so forth and so on and so forth. And then of course you have the DLC section. You click on DLC, and they're trying to sell you on Darkseid character and buying the Ultimate Edition and so on and so forth, right? So it begs the question, and really I become a victim of this in the past as well. And the fact is, some of these games feel like they're not complete. And I'm not saying this is the case with Injustice. It's definitely fully fledged. There's a lot of content there. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to keep it going. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, man, like, I'm missing out on these characters. I got to pay an extra $6 for Darkseid, or I got to pay an extra $40 to get the rest of the crew. I almost feel like, hey, just charge me like $80 or $100 and say, hey, you're going to get everything for the game, because you're still not guaranteed you're not going to get any other fighters that come out after that. So is there a little bit of buyer's paralysis here is the question that I want to ask. Do you guys feel like you see a game, they announce it, you're kind of excited about it, but then they kind of start outlining some of these DLC packs, they want to sell you on the season pass, and do you feel like maybe you're missing out on a portion of the game, or are they keeping it from you? or just, are you like me that sometimes you just want to wait a year later and just get the complete edition and just play the whole game as it was intended to be? Sometimes I feel that way. For instance, Witcher 3 is a good example. I picked up Witcher 3 at launch because I think CD Projekt Red is a terrific developer, terrific developer, right? So I want to support the developer. I had my fill completely of this game, but now they released the complete edition, right? So now I buy the game a second time, so I can play the extra content. But then there's other games, like, for instance, you have, let's stick to the fighting game. So Mortal Kombat, the most recent Mortal Kombat, they had Mortal Kombat X, and then they had the XL edition. You have Injustice 2. I'm sure they're gonna have an Ultimate Edition. You have Shadow of Mordor, and then you have the Complete Edition, and then you have Street Fighter, and then you have the Ultimate Street Fighter. So they're almost like piecing these things out, making you rebuy the game. And sometimes I just want to hold out. I've waited this game for this whatever game for 5 years. I'll just wait another year and get it as intended. And when they move on to the next project, and now I have a complete game. So I find myself doing that a lot. I did that most recently with Metal Gear 5, The Phantom Pain. I just waited and I waited for the full edition. I picked it up on the Black Friday sale. I think it was like $30, and I got the whole shebang. And I got my fill that way. So I asked you guys, what is it that you guys do? Do you guys are you guys kind of fed up with this practice? Do you think games are priced too low and this is why they're doing it, they're piecing it out? Or do you think these developers and publishers are just money hungry? Or do you have no problem with it? Do you like the fact that these games come out and then you're guaranteed an X amount of content continuing for months or years, however the plan is for that particular game? Let me know, guys. Let me know in the description below. And that's pretty much going to be the show for this week, guys. Next week, Eric's going to be back. We have some cool stuff planned. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you guys rate us, guys. Let me know in the comments how I'm doing. If you guys want to see the show going in a particular direction, I'd love to hear your comments and adjust the show accordingly. We're 6 episodes in. We're extremely excited about the opportunity to do this show. As I mentioned previously, I have different outlets: YouTube, the podcast, the website, and social media. Make sure you guys follow me there. Thumbs up if you like the show. Send me comments if you feel like we need to do some changes. But until next time, guys, I appreciate you guys watching and listening. Until next time, game on. Checkity check, check, check. The mics are on, baby. The mics are on. I gotta get really close to this thing because the mics are on, son.